leads the championship into round 17 of the Quaife Mini Challenge. Paul O'Neill, Richard John Neal are watching.
Samuel has got a good lead, as you rightly said, Steve, and also he needs to drop a hat load of points. He's got a huge lead, so he can actually afford to have next weekend off, probably. And he's still got a lead, but he still hasn't wrapped up the championship. It's about 50 points per race, so the way the minis do it, absolutely mega championship, isn't it? And Jason Lockwood, fourth in race one, partial reverse grid. Fans about to enjoy the minis, JCW's being unleashed. Of course, we've seen the Coopers, they had another round. Oh, here we go, Ornithology Corner. Welcome to Ornithology Corner. What is that, Paul or Mark?
So it's a
Pied wagtail.
White wagtail, that.
Pied wagtail.
Pied wagtail, sorry, that's what I meant. My director, Crossy, just telling me what that was, and I got it wrong.
He's a keen ornithologist, amongst other things, is our director. Let's get back to the racing. That's what we're here for. So here's the grid for the third race for the minis of the weekend. Jason Lockwood on pole position with Ronan Pearson alongside Sam Weller. Championship leader is next up from Alex Denning. Jack Mitchell is on row 3 with Lewis Brown. Fourth row, Dan Zelos and Jerry Ratz. Then it's Jack Davidson, Ethan Hamilton, Robbie Dalgleish with Sam Smith on row 6. Row 7, Matthew George and Jamie Osborne. Bradley Gravitt with Harry Nunn. Both of those two guys moving to Accelerate Motorsport this weekend. Then James Griffith, who won the Directors class in the last race. Ryan Falconbridge is next to him. 10th row, Will Hardy and Ross Marshall. Then it's Lydia Walmsley and Josh Jackson. David Sterling, who had a non-finish in the previous race. And Keenan Dole in the Treble 7 car. They're followed by Max Coates and Barry Ward, Joe Tanner and Don Wheatley off the back of the grid. We had an absolute barnstormer cracker of a race this morning, and we just hope, fingers crossed. Normally when I say that, we then end up with safety cars and red flags, so if that happens, ladies and gents, in Tallyland, I apologise, but I hope you're going to have a great race. Paul's trying to finish his sarnie at the moment, which is why. Are you done? Are you finished now?
I'm done my best, if you didn't know. So, yeah, sorry. I've just eaten a vegan sandwich. It was lovely, that. So, yeah, you got to watch what you say, Rich, because usually we've got such bad commentators' curse, haven't we? So, yeah, I think we'll be good.
I think the first race, absolutely brilliant textbook race from the JCWs. Max Coates is having a miserable weekend. He had all sorts of issues in race number 1. We still cover him though, don't we? Still show him on the coverage. And Alfie's quite a way back, isn't he?
It's difficult, mate. It's difficult in a one-make championship. All the engines are the same. They're as close as they can be. They have a tolerance in brake horsepower, but all the engines are the same. The cars, you can set them up quite differently, but as in suspension geometry, but you can still go forward in this championship, and that's what Max will be hoping. But yeah, we've seen him too many times not at the front, and that disappoints me. It's a real shame because he's a proper peddler. This
is such a talent-rich championship. It's ideal as a feeder or aspirational touring car drivers to come into. Some very good drivers. Now, Lockwood is well short. Now, is that so far back it's out of position, or has he just been careful?
I don't know. That's very. If he stays there, he needs to move forward now, or he's going to have to start from there. It's not an issue. He won't get a penalty for it because he's not over the line. He's behind it. He might be trying to just get first gear and get to the front. He's moved a bit, but not too much. Usually you'll have a piece of tape on the right-hand side of the pit wall, and you line it up with your wing mirror as you line up, because you can't see the white line as you drive up to it.
I was going to say the car behind is closer to him, so that might put off the car behind. That's why I was thinking it might be that far back. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Here we go, getting ready for the start of the third and final Quaife Mini Challenge race of the weekend. Lockwood on pole position, alongside him is Ronan Pearson. Away we go. Ronan Pearson in second position in this one. 2 fastest laps so far this weekend, and he'll be keen to have a go, but it looks like he's lost second position because Sam Weller's come through into P2 and he's chasing Jason Lockwood. He runs wide, as many of them will on the opening lap. That will be okay. There'll be discretion there as well, and barges his way through on the inside. Weller's up into lead position, still side by side by Lockwood as they go into Maggots here. Now into Beckett's past the packed grandstand on the inside. Lockwood gets some wheels on the dirt, and it's Weller that leads them.
Disaster for Lockwood from the pole, and that's a total nightmare. It's going to be difficult now. Sam Weller wants to win one.
He certainly does. Remember, championship-wise, he's got a huge lead, but it has got to go, I think, to Brands Hatch, because he's got some drop scores in hand. There we go, into sideways mode. Jack Davidson gets it all sideways in the pink peril, gets it back on track. We haven't seen Jack at the front this year. He struggled with the new tyres, I think, this year as much as anything. Look at those guys getting stuck in behind.
Yeah, Dan Zelos seen an opening. Lewis Brown couldn't cover him enough in that 38 car, so yeah, he just about got across, and and it was too late. So, yeah, all happening. Look at this, 2 abreast into Cops, 5th gear corner. The tyres look well up to temperature now. You've seen it was a bit squirrely down at Brooklands. That's the first left-hander that they really come to at speed, so they really have to lean on it and hope for the best. But they're all through, and we all look good. Davidson in that pink car in the middle of your shot, locking up rears, just getting across the front of Ethan Hamilton, I think it is. But it's all happening. This looks like it could be a cracking race, this one.
I think you might be right, yeah. Hamilton having a stronger weekend than of late, which is great to see. I respect what many have done with the grid reversals. They used to reverse down to position 10. And you get, look at Alex Denning having a go through, little nudge on the back of Lockers. Lockwood gets a nudge from Denning, unintentional, and he did come on, go onto the brakes just to sort of stop that momentum. And it didn't dishevel the car in front, thankfully.
We picked that up really good on that shot. He comes from absolutely nowhere. Denning just from absolutely nowhere. Look at the lead these two have got at the front, and Ronan Pearson now will be fancying his chances. And yeah, we seen a race earlier this morning where Weller was just trying to get around the track, and it was actually Denning who won that race before. But Denning's trying to make progress past Lockwood now for P3. But yeah, the leaders are well out in front, and Lockwood is holding everyone up.
Pearson has just got the fastest first flying lap. I know it's lap 2, it's early days to talk about that, but the significance as well is that he had the fastest lap outright of both of the first 2 races this weekend. He's got pace, he looks relaxed this weekend, he's getting more and more into his mini racing. He was dejected after Snet, he's having a go here at Weller. Those two can sort themselves out. Lockwood under pressure from Denning in the multicoloured car, and then the black car of Jack Mitchell, who will want to carry as many points out of this. What a silly thing to say. Of course he wants the points as Pearson now tees up the inside run and he's going for the lead. Both of these guys, 3 wins in the championship apiece so far this year. And Pearson's got the inside run, got his nose in front. Well, I won't be too perturbed about that because he knows he's got the racecraft to take it to Pearson. And indeed, he's sticking it out on the outside run here on turn 1, side by side. Pearson on the right of shot, the young Scot, who was such a hero for the Scottish fans up at Knock Hill when he popped it on pole. And he said it made a big difference to his racing, but he's got the inside here, locks up, still hanging on to it is Weller. Awesome race. This is what we saw in race 1 with different cars. It was Denning and Weller last time. They're still at it, Paul.
I'm just looking at you. I'm not even looking at the racing. This could be side by side for 3/4 of the lap. They come down the Wellington straight to Brooklands. It's got to be Sam Weller, which started at turn 1, still side by side. Absolutely unbelievable job done through 4 corners side by side. But look again, Ronan Pearson's not giving that up. Every corner side by side except the last. That was absolutely exceptional stuff. No track limits. Beautiful.
Great lap, lads. Superb. Let's have more of it. Weller back in the lead. Pearson knows he's got to do it. He knows he's got the pace. He knows he's got the ability around here. He was looking at his data and he was saying on the quickest sectors running together, he had the quickest lap out of everybody here. He's got the confidence. He loves Silverstone. Look at Lockwood, though. 3rd position. Still there at the moment. It's Jack Mitchell in 4th. Then we've got Dan Zelos next up in the mix as well. Lewis Brown still in the mix as well. The Davanti car of Zelos. Penalty for car 77, which is Jamie Osborne.
Osborne, yes.
Yeah. That was a full start, so the officials gradually catch up with everything. As we saw in the junior race, they might see quite a lot of track limits and then catch up later in the race if there's loads of it, which they have to do. But catch them, they will do, as Zelos has now caught Jack Mitchell. Mitchell in the black and green Wearer car. That is 4th place at the moment. Lockwood in orange starting from pole. Lewis Brown. Great to see Lewis back up with it. I said at the start that the strength in depth of this championship with drivers like Lewis Brown, multiple champion in other support categories, just has not had any luck, but never lets it get him down. Davidson's having a nibble at Brown there.
Yeah, and like I said, Lewis, another person who has led this championship before, but it's just not happened for him at the very end. So always in there, always fighting. And this is what they're doing now, isn't it? They're always fighting here. And Lockwood will be ruining that bad start because he ran wide here, didn't he, on the first lap, and just about got to. He's very lucky. He's still on the podium.
He is at the moment, but you know, Lockwood will work hard. He had his first win a few rounds ago. Jason Lockwood, that was at Alton Park quite a few rounds ago. But he took that one, and he's been a front runner in the championship for ages. It was something that we sort of overlooked, it being his first win. And win it he did. As his fastest lap still with Pearson. Look at this battle though. Pearson still nibbling away and having a go. Gets a wheel on the grass. Wants to get that lead. I tell you what, Weller is not having this easy.
too much respect there from Ronan Pearson. He's dropped the gap now because he come out of that when he was down the inside, but I think it was the right thing to do for him. He would have actually turned Sam sideways, so massive respect for these two guys at the minute. They're not tagging each other when they don't need to, but look at this now. Lockwood is losing out, Mitchell's through, Zelos is through, Brown is going to come through as well as he, but Lockwood is losing place. He's hand over fist, and look, Davidson as well in that pink car. So what's going to happen? Oh, Rhea's locking up on all the corners. That look like one of them kettles, the steam ones that whistle. So the left rear is locking up as they turn into Maggots and Beckett's, and yeah, it's not over yet. Lockwood is side by side with Zelos now, and he might just get in front because he's got the tow from the car in front, and that's the rear end car tools of Jack Mitchell.
Yeah, Jack Mitchell will be looking very much ahead. He'll have the odd glance in the rear view mirror, but ahead of him, it's significant championship points-wise as Brown looks up the inside of Dan Zelos. Still side by side they go. Lockwood is going to be challenged on the outside run. The point Mitchell here could lose third position in the championship. Fourth position in the championship to Pearson.
Wow, Denning was just in the gravel trap there. So that silver, green and pink car that's just coming into shot there, gone straight through. It was just in the gravel trap, but someone's obviously got a bit of bodywork damage as well. And look, bodywork damage. We'll have more of that then through Cops in fifth gear. That was Zelos into Brown, and Jack Davidson's picked up the pieces. And look, all locking up them right rear. It's unloaded as they're turning into this third gear corner. You're back on the throttle, but you've got to be careful with the brake pressure because you can just spin yourself round on the turning, going down to Welling Straight. Look how close Brown is. Brown comes out of the back of Zelos there. Now Denning down the inside. Is he going to take 6 places or is he going to go off?
He's having a look, isn't he? So Denning having a good look. Great to see Davidson up with the sharp end again. Lewis Brown behind him. Then Alex Denning, followed by Dan Zelos. Goodness me. Then Jerry Ratz in the black 7 car as well, not far away. The chasing group closing in, also including Ethan Hamilton, who goes on the inside of Jerry Ratz, who's had a very good rookie year. He's only been, you've got to say, really put in the shade by Alex Denning, but Ratz has been a very good performer as a rookie in this championship.
Yeah, he's been up there, hasn't he? He's been good for a rookie, to give him his due. But it's been pretty close. I'm actually, I don't want to say that, I'm just waiting for a car to spear off here, but they've been so close. They've given each other a lot of respect, and look at this battle for third. Mitchell locking that right rear again, or left rear into Maggots and Beckett's, and Lockwood is fancying that place back, I reckon.
Yeah, Lockers wants to get on the podium still with Weller and Pearson out front, and the third place guy, Jack Mitchell, has got a black and white flag, so track limits, unsurprisingly. Here he is, the we're a black and turquoise car, followed by Jason Lockwood, who's getting himself back into the mix here in 4th position. Race lead as well clear. They're 5.4 seconds clear of this lot, so it is going to be between Weller and Pearson. The gap between Weller and Pearson just half a second on the last lap, but the rest of the runners giving us a good race. These two relatively clear at the moment of Jack Davidson, Lux Motorsport. Good to see them getting back up towards the sharp end. That will give them some confidence heading to France, confidence moving forward into 2023.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you on that one. And Mitchell, I think, has seen that black and white flag because he just checked up and made sure he didn't run wide at Cops again. It's mostly Cops for these track limits. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there? But Lockwood's still stalking the back of Mitchell, and he'll probably have seen that Mitchell, if he does that again, track limits, he'll be given a 5-second penalty.
So Lockwood will continue to pile the pressure on. Pearson still with the fastest lap again, improves again on lap 9. So Pearson's still there, and there's the evidence of that. He is chasing Sam Weller. Sam Weller has just spent all weekend with cars in his mirrors, be it the Irishman, Alex Denning, or in this case, the young Scot, Ronan Pearson, who really had... Ronan was telling me yesterday, reminding me, because he told me before that you were his first instructor.
I know, I sat with him in a Saxo VTS in the Junior Saloon Car Championship, which was quite a few years ago, actually. And on the first lap, he put me in the gravel trap at Druids at Alton.
Yeah, no way.
He was nearly crying and was apologising. But look at this, let's forget about that. Alex Denning was straight through. Davidson's dropped way back in that pink car. Those guys are just, it's like musical chairs.
Yeah, as ever in the minis, this is good racing. As Matt George has got a problem, that's a shame.
Well, he's been hit quite hard in that left rear, isn't he? So probably bent something there. So back to the pits for him. And that's always a difficult one through there. You're on the throttle. It looks like they're running track limits, but to be fair... Oh, hang on a minute. Was that side-by-side coming down the Wellington Straight?
It was for third place, wasn't it, I think? Yes, Lockwood has got third position back from Jack Mitchell. Lockers is in third, goes wide. Mitchell's going to come back at him. They're still side-by-side. Lots of space between the pair of them. Is Mitchell going to go for the cutback here on the inside? He's quite got the momentum into it. I'll stay with the outside for the moment. Let's see if we can get him have a decent run out of Woodcote. Down past the down past the pit boards, side by side they go. Mitchell's got good momentum here, trying to get back into P3. This could bring Alex Denning into the mix as well as these two fight. Great racing in the JCWs here, Paul.
That's amazing. Look, it's not over yet. And look at the left rear of Lockwood's car. That looks like one of your nostril hairs, Richard.
Thanks very much.
Well, that's a great move. Left rear is locked, and down the inside again. Lockwood comes across the front of him, and can he get the move done? I've never seen so much side by side. The Mini's great and doesn't push him on the grass. That's beautiful driving from these two.
Absolutely. I can't get that image out of my head now, Paul. Thank you. Sit down the straight. Here we go. Look, here comes Denning having a lunge. The Irishman coming up as well. Goodness me. He's too far back there, but he's really putting these boys under pressure. Here comes Denning. It's still Lockwood out front. Contact there on the back end, and Lockwood is away and wide. Mitchell goes through. Denning goes through. Also going through is Dan Zelos and Lewis Brown. Try and grab a replay of that. Sure, there's Ethan Hamilton still dicing it out there with Robbie Dalgleish, who's coming up into the top group as well. Dalgleish in 12th place.
Denning's on a charge here. Look, Mitchell just going back to that. He did tag the back of Lockwood, and it was enough, wasn't it? But Zelos running so much speed through. This isn't a fight with two cars. This is a fight for three cars. Zelos down the outside of Mitchell, gets down the inside. Rears lock up. Job done. Mitchell drops down the pack. Or does he? No, he's side by side as well. Lewis Brown in the car behind with the little fluorescent bits on the front. That's involved. They're side by side again. This is excellent stuff. Lewis Brown in the tow. Oh my word. Listen to that.
Yeah, this is great racing from the JCW. 6 minutes on the clock to go. Lockwood at the back of the group wants to try and get back. He's the man that started in pole position, having finished fourth in the previous race. Jack Davidson in pink looks up the inside of Lockwood. Side by side they go. Davidson's got the move back. He's getting himself back further towards the front. Then we've got Sam Smith next up, actually in the 42. The black and red car is in the mix as well. In his debut meeting with the JCWs, he has adapted superbly to these cars. All four of the hybrid tune cars, incidentally, on the test day, I think we're in the top 12 on testing. Very rapid team, some great drivers in that lineup.
This is so good. If we can get through 6 minutes of nobody going off here, this will be so close, this racing. Look at it. It's just proper high-speed train, but they're side by side everywhere. Jerry Rat's again involved, and look how close. Wing mirrors, bang, bang, but not too much malicious stuff. Great.
Yeah, Rats and Smith having a very good race of this. Smith, as we mentioned before, the RSCC Mazda MX-5 champion, cut his team there. David Sterling is the car that they're coming up on. There's going to be contact here. Smith on the outside. Dalgleish is going to go through on the inside as well. No, he can't quite do it. Look at that flame out as well. That is just
love
beautiful.
That little bit of fuel overrunning out of these engines. We see it a bit, but down into Luffield. Look at that. Coming round Woodcote, oh my word, Lockwood, look, out of control there, but still gets the pass done on Davidson in the pink car. Brilliant stuff. Into Cops, down one gear, breathe on the brakes, turn in, can he get underneath? Will they stay within track limits? One does, one doesn't, but look at that, he's got the overlap now. Oh, close your eyes and turn across the front of him.
He's waving my nostril hair in front of him.
That's what put him up, I think.
So he's still well out front from Pearson in second position. Here's your replay.
Super slow-mo. That is great. The only problem with that is it'll burn the sponsors off the back of your car.
Back with the race leaders and Weller soaking up the pressure from Ronan Pearson. Both of these guys, what an entertaining race they've given us. Pearson still with the fastest lap again. He's going to be thinking about where he is in the championships. He wants the win for sure. If somebody dropped down the order there on the timing screen, so let's go across the line once again. Is it Brad Gravitt? Is that a timing? Brad Gravitt getting a penalty. Not the best of weekends for him, but he has looked comfortable. Accelerate now as Ronan Pearson runs a little bit wide. Is he going to use that to try and get... He's too far back at the moment, but still trying hard.
I think Ronan's got a chance here, you know. I think he's got a chance to win this. And Sam's car, Weller, in front, looks... That's such a good shot. Look at that. I mean, that is a fourth gear corner. Look at the wash from the front tyres where they just can't get the car turned. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is close racing.
Love the way we just saw the mirrors go slightly deranged there. You've got to be deranged to race one of these things in the first place, I think. I mean that in the nicest way, not a horrible way. But here we go back with the race leaders, and it's Weller still out front. Ronan Pearson chasing hard. He's just, I think he's going to make an announcement at Brands, which we look forward to. And Ronan said, could I thank his man in the paddock, Woody, who looks after him. I think it might be Woody from the Bay City Rollers being Scott, but it wasn't.
It would be interesting to see what that's all about.
Yeah, look forward to getting his announcement at Brands.
Oh, Zelos.
Down the man's off.
Did he get contact? I didn't see anything there. Interesting.
Something happened.
You sometimes touch the grass and get dragged into it, but if you've been helped, it doesn't obviously work.
Oh, lock up.
You're getting good at this, Richard. You can see the left rear's locking. That's my job. Wind your neck in. So the left rear locking on that car there, and it just gave him a bit of oversteer as he turned in. So it's hotting up, and your nostril hair is still hanging out Lockwood's car, mate. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
I think there'll be viewer complaints about that. Here we go. So Lockwood still there from Sam Smith now. So Sam Smith has caught the man that was on pole position. Good debut weekend from Smith. Rat's still behind him as well, trying to close in. Still with fastest laps. In comes Josh Jackson, David Sterling into pit lane as well.
Wow. Oh,
and Dan Zelos.
Left front puncher.
Yep.
Left front puncher. That'll be clobbering the curbs, maybe at Brooklands on them big red concrete curb bits. So not great. Time's running out here for Ronan, and the way he's driving in that 66, I would say he is flat out for a win. Look, oversteering on the exit of Cops. You don't do that if you want P2. You are fighting for a win now, boy. You're fighting for a win.
He's always going to, isn't he? He's happening very close here as well. But Weller is used to this. He's been under pressure a lot of time. This is almost a little bit of a decider between these two. 3 wins apiece so far. You'd have thought Weller had won a lot more with the amount of points that he's got, but he's just had an absolute mid-season, Weller, with the amount of points he's put in. Here comes Pearson, though. What can he do? Is he going to have a look? He does, as they come into Brooklands, but it's not quite enough, not quite close enough to do it. But he's worrying the race leader, harrying him, letting him know that he's not going to give up at all. Yeah, the front of that car won't turn in for Weller, but he knows that, so what he does is he'll limit the front wash across the surface for the first part of the field, and then just waits off the throttle, gets the car turned and drives it out, whereas Ronan is quick on the way in, but a bit slower on the way out. That's why the gap appears here. Not long left, but Ronan through here, down 1 gear. He had oversteer on the last part. You see the rear of the car shaking around, and he rumbles them curbs. He really wants this win, but Weller, I think, has just got enough front end with those tyres to make this win. We've seen him off so far. We've got more time penalties coming up on the screen. We'll come back to that. Weller again lifts the wheel, locks up just a little bit. He's lost the lead once already, but equally has got it back. Up ahead of them now is Dan Zelos, I think that was, in shot, the #1 car, having pitted. That was a quick stop if he's got out on the same lap, which was good for him, as 21 car getting stuck in. Lockwood still on the outside. Sam Smith about to try and go through and take 7th position away from Jason Lockwood. Yeah, side by side again. Lockwood's involved there. So on your graphics, ladies and gentlemen, everybody at home, anything with the red exclamation mark is track limits, or they've been given a penalty for something. It's mostly 5-second penalties. So where you see them on the track when they cross the line is how they are. So don't worry about if you see cars in the wrong position. That's how they are on the screen on the left. And do you know what? With these cars being so close, a 5-second penalty is a spanking, isn't it? Oh, it can be like Goodness 6 or 7, yeah, like places, like you say. Last lap then, and yeah, can Ronan do this? I think it might be a bit of a bridge too far now. That gap's just opened up a touch, isn't it? And Sam knows what the score is when it's leading and winning races, but great to see Ronan pushing him all the way. Yeah, for sure, and he's going to take the confidence to Brands Hatch. Totally different sort of track, of course, Brands Hatch with the ups and downs. We've got the Grand Prix loop as well, but it's Sam Weller looking for win #4 of the championship in the season. The hybrid tune man still delivering the business here, the championship leader. This is going to be a great way to set his Brands Hatch meeting up. Could secure the championship nice and early in the final weekend of the season. Comes out of Luffield for the final time. Ronan Pearson again closes in on him, shows him the nose of that car, but it's not going to be enough for Ronan Pearson. The young Scott's going to have to settle for second again as they go across the line. Weller takes the win, Pearson second. Jack Mitchell will be in 3rd place. There is Mitchell in black, under pressure from Lewis Brown, fighting for a podium for I think the first time for this year for Lewis. He took pole position at the opening round of the year. Mitchell 3rd, so a podium as he heads to his home race. Ahead of them was Alex Denning, but remember he has the time penalty, drops him back. So Mitchell third, Brown fourth, Lockwood fifth, and Sam Smith in sixth position.
Wow, Denning, so he got a +10 second penalty for track limits. That's twice he went over track limits after being warned twice. So we've got to say well done again to the officials for getting those track limits problems done. Anyway, let's forget about that, because that's the rubbish part of racing. Well done, Sam Weller, because that was a masterclass.
First win of the weekend for him. It's been a Denning double so far, and Weller, first win since all part race one. I didn't think it was that long. I know, isn't that amazing?
I thought he'd won like every single race we've commentated.
It seems like it, doesn't it, with the points that he's got, but hybrid tune.
He'll be happy.
Norfolk-based team, yeah. Good to see him getting...
I hope, Richard, that Pearson and Weller have the biggest hug and handshake, because that lap that they did, battling for the lead, side by side, was awesome.
A great race, round 17 of the Quaife Mini Challenge here at Silverstone. Third, Dan Zelos a lap down. Problems in the race for Josh Jackson, Dom Wheatley, David Sterling and Matthew George. So as we head to Brands Hatch, everyone's going to be looking at these standings. Sam Weller, 113 points clear over Ronan Pearson, who goes into second position in the championship now, the Scot. Jack Mitchell is third from Jason Lockwood, Alex Denning in fifth. Sixth is Dan Zelos from Jack Davidson and Max Coates. Joe Tanner in ninth and Robbie Dalgleish in 10th.